Hey, 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 good evening and happy Thankful Thursday. How are we all today? I hope you're well. It's now 7:49 on Thursday evening and someone's trying to get my parking space and I'm not moving at the moment. I have calls and stuff to do. Anyway, it's 7:49 on a Thursday evening and I had to go to the police station because on my run this morning, yet again, a dog, the same owner as Monday, had his dog off a leash. And he was on a bicycle with no intention of putting that dog on the leash. And that dog started circling me. Today I wasn't running because I jarred my back. And he made me jump and I've hurt my back even more. But it was pretty scary. So I actually don't know if it was the best idea, but I went to the police to inform them. Because I don't want it to happen to someone else and the dog to bite them or to happen to me again. So I think that owners should do what they're told by law for the safety of all of us. Anyway, my dear friend who I talked about a while ago has asked me to come on live, and I hope she's on because I can't see who's there. So let me know if you're coming on live, where you're coming in live from. And if you're coming on the replay, please type in hashtag replay. I'd love to know where you're coming from. So this topic I want to talk about today is about appearance and judgment, and when one gets a compliment, how it's taken by the person who's receiving that compliment. So for example, I appreciate every single one of my followers and my friends who come onto social media and tell me how great I look and all that, and I really, really, really appreciate it. But I want to tell you, as someone who was double their size, how it sometimes comes across when people give compliments to someone who's lost a dramatic amount of weight. And then I'm going to talk about my friend who's watching, hopefully, who asked me to come on. I talked about the extreme other side of things when someone comments on the fact that you have gone so skinny. So for me, when people compliment me for my weight loss, I see it as a positive. I see, oh my gosh, it's great. People see that I've made the effort, but I also and I'm trying to get over this. I also see the negative, how people it's like it feels like sometimes a backhanded compliment, like that I was so Shrek-like before this whole journey, therefore any compliment is like, well, you look good now, but you were an absolute monster before. You were Shrek, you were a princess, whatever her name is, I can't remember, from Shrek, and now you're not. And it's like, why do we feel like we have to judge one another? And I've been working a lot on this, and every time I go to make a judgment about someone, I'm going through the judgment detox from Gabriella Bernstein, and every time I go to make any judgments or think about anything with a judgment either on myself or on others, I do a whole analysis now, and 9 times out of 10 it comes back to deep-rooted issues that I have with myself. It's nothing to do with the other person that I'm judging. So when someone gives me a compliment and they're like, oh wow, you look amazing now, when they say you look amazing now, and they're probably just saying you look amazing now because they've seen a photo from before and they either know me in reality or they don't, but because of my deep-rooted judgments about my previous self, even though I'm still not necessarily the ideal or anything, what is the ideal anyway, like I still have deep-rooted judgments about my prior self, and therefore like it can be hard to take a compliment, even if it's meant to be a positive. I'm often judging it as a negative because it's such dire bullying as a kid for being so fat. Even when I was just chubby, I was always bullied from my parents. I was bullied for having blonde hair. I was called Lemon, even though people didn't realise that was considered bullying. Everyone else in my school had dark hair, maybe had darker skin than me, because I went to a Jewish school and a lot of Israelis and Mediterranean, and I was the outcast, so I'd always have to turn it on them. I'd call them fake lemon or something because they'd gone and dyed their hair, and they weren't trying to be mean. I found out in recent years that was just their endearing way of being with me as one of their classmates. But I always saw it as a very negative thing, because when someone says you're a lemon, it's like saying, well, you're a bimbo or you're dumb or whatever, in English anyway. So that was really hard for me to change my mindset around when someone's giving you a compliment. I don't always have to go back and think deeply and analyze every single compliment. I could just take it and just say thanks, And then there's the other side. So my friend, don't know why she's not on, she asked me to come on. So my friend is also a twin mother. She's young, she's only 25, 26, and she's got 4 kids. And she's not anorexic now, she's just sick now. She was anorexic most of her life. She's had a very, very hard life. Her mother died when she was only 7, and her father, I think, had died before that. And she's had a very, very tough life, and from a very young age, before she was 7, she was on psychotic drugs and stuff. And she's had what did she have? She had anorexia, and at the moment they're trying to fathom out what's wrong with her, because she's been very, very sick since her twins were born 5 months ago, and her husband's having to to take over and everything. And someone said to her, "Oh wow, you got thin." And sometimes for some people, for me, maybe I would have heard that and thought, oh my God, that's amazing, thank you so much. But for her, they're making that judgment on her. They have no idea of the situation or the experiences that have got a person to the place they are right now, unless they know them deeply, or they know them like I share my story on social media. But when one makes a judgment of someone else to such a level, just walking down the street, it can be really, really damaging, because you're making that judgment in your head, or you say it to the person. But when you have that judgment and that feeling towards people that look certain ways, if you have children, those feelings get passed down, and that's really, really hard to fathom and to live with. People some people I know used to say very derogatory, not anti-Semitic, all sorts of people. I mean, anti-Semitic as well, but all sorts of people. And the generations after them continue to say those things. And you never know who is going to end up repeating it or learning from it and thinking that's the norm, and that you need to make those judgments and make those prejudgments on people. It's all about prejudging others, and rather reflecting on how you feel inside, rather than projecting how you feel inside onto others, is how I try to live nowadays. Because it's so, so very important with the amount of negativity in the world and the amount of trolling that goes on. I was on I was on TikTok doing my live with my friend Danielle on Tuesday morning, just trying it out, because I do it on Facebook, and I'm now on TikTok and Instagram. So I did it on Instagram, and some people are like, yeah, go on, amazing, amazing. And some people, the things they said, it was like, would you say that to me in reality? No, probably not. Would you say that to me if you met me in the street and you didn't know who I was? Because if you're the type of person that's going to say that to me in the street and you don't know me, you should make that judgment on yourself and make that decision. Because that person was probably sitting there just being and not doing. And he wasn't, I'm an action taker, and they were just like action fakers and just sitting around and chilling on their phone and wanting to judge others. And I'm in a different headspace now, and I actually thanked him because some of the comments I got made people talk, made me get more engagement, and more people came to the live. Like at one point I had 14 or 17 people, and I was like, thank you, because without that negativity, none of the positivity would have come later, and the connections and the relationships. And so this is a veered off subject, but what I'm saying is, when you give a compliment, check out if the compliment's coming from a place of neutrality or the compliment's kind of backhanded. Because if it's backhanded, then maybe don't give it. And if sorry, someone's sitting right by my car, like they want to get in the space, but I'm not moving at the moment because I have to go somewhere else after. And if you're receiving a compliment, don't always see it in the negative, because a compliment is often quite innocent, and the people are giving you a compliment for good reason, because they want to share their joy and their happiness for you. So that's what I wanted to talk about tonight, that compliments can be backhanded, but they don't, like, the people receiving the compliments should just say thank you. Because I used to always go whenever I got a compliment. Oh, your hair's so beautiful. No, it's not. Like, I used to always do that my whole life. Like, my mum used to say, why are you doing that? You have beautiful hair. Before I covered it. I mean, I do now, but it's covered. And like, I always saw the negative in everything. And now I've just, we have to be careful with perceptions. Not always is accurate. Exactly. That is exactly what I'm saying. And like, just because you're in a mental headspace doesn't mean the person that's giving the compliment feels that way. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But how you take it is your choice, and it's interpretation of your reality. So that's what I wanted to talk about. And if you are judging people just for the way they look, don't do it, because it's not worth it. You don't know what's gone on to make them that person, Like I said, the person that asked me to come on and do this live is a wonderful person with 4 beautiful kids, and she's only 26 years old and lost her mother when she was 7 years old, and she's very skinny and very, very sick at the moment. And people in the street made comments to her about how skinny she got, and like, oh, don't you think you got too skinny now? You're beautiful, but don't you think you got too skinny? Like as if she was trying to get skinny. And as a recovering anorexic who is like fighting for her life to like get better, it was pretty derailing for her. So that's what I wanted to come on and talk about. And if you got value from this, please feel free to share or tag someone else who you think might get value from this. And I'm going to go now, but I wanted to thank you very much for your time, and I appreciate you. And don't forget, you are perfect just the way you are. You are enough, and you deserve to take up space in this world. Never forget it. And I appreciate you, and I love you very much, even though if I have never met you in reality. So I'm going to go now. It's now 8:05 on Thursday evening, the 12th of August 2021, and I hope you all have a beautiful rest of your day. And if I don't get to come on again tomorrow, Shabbat Shalom, and have a beautiful weekend to everyone. Ciao for now. Bye. Bye. Cheers.